Working for you. This is RTV6 Good Morning Indiana.
This morning, we're remembering the life of fallen Boone County Deputy Jacob Pickett as Central Indiana comes together to say a final goodbye.
But first, we want to take a minute to bring you your weather and your traffic to kick off your Friday. And Todd Clausen is joining us. And Todd, we have a clear forecast, which is good news for all the funeral processions and events going on today.
Yeah, it's just very chilly here this morning with temperatures that are in the teens and the 20s. The sky's starting to brighten here this morning. And we have just a few high, thin clouds out there. But look at this temperature at the airport in Indianapolis, 22 degrees. Some of you even cooler as you work your way to the north. We have temperatures in the teens from Crawfordsville to Lafayette over towards the Peru area. A little warmer to the south, 22 in Bloomington if you want to call it warmer. 25 degrees the current temperature in Columbus. You factor in the wind and it feels like it's still in the teens. So it is a very, very chilly morning, but skies are mainly clear. We have this one little band of high, thin cloud cover that's starting to develop across the area, but otherwise skies will be sunny here this morning, and then we'll transition to partly cloudy skies this afternoon. Wind not an issue throughout the day today, so we'll warm quite nicely here throughout the morning hours. 37 degrees by the noon hour. On our way up to a high temperature this afternoon, Elena, of 43 degrees.
All right, thank you, Todd. As you are taking to the roads this morning, the good news, everything is moving up to speed. We do have some crashes in the area, though. There's a crash on northbound I-65 at I-465, and then an injury crash at Gasoline Alley at Rockville Road. So if you go through these areas for your commute, just pay attention and use some extra caution. But let's take a look at those roads right now. The great news for your morning commute, those roads are dry. Here's a look at I-70 at Rural Street, Keystone Avenue. All is moving up to speed, so if you are heading out the door right now, no delays in your commute.
Just a very sweet young man, very kind.
But Deputy Jacob Pickett was more than that.
He got the job done. He did it the right way.
He kept an eye on Boone County while bringing so much joy to the people around him.
He's got that big smile. He's always in a good mood. And that laugh was just contagious.
And his final act, giving someone else another chance at life.
If you needed something, he was always there.
And today, we're honoring his sacrifice.
Deputy Jacob Pickett, or as his friends called him, Jake, was killed in the line of duty at the age of 34.
It's been a hard week for the Boone County community, and today we'll say our final goodbyes. This morning, we're looking back on his life.
First, we're going to take you through the services. Our reporters are taking us live through the procession and funeral and Deputy Pickett's burial. We begin with Nicole Griffin, who joins us from Connection Point Christian Church. Good morning, Nicole.
Lauren and Meredith, good morning. In just over an hour here, Deputy Pickett's procession will arrive here at Connection Point Christian Church in his hometown of Brownsburg. Hundreds of his brothers and sisters in blue from all across the country will be taking part in that procession and escorting his body into the church ahead of his funeral later this morning. We are expecting the procession to arrive here in Brownsburg at 8 o'clock. This will be a very difficult day for the Boone County Sheriff's Office and Deputy Pickett's friends and family. In a post written just under an hour ago by Boone County Sheriff Mike Nielsen, he says, "Thank you, Jake, for your overwhelming strength you gave us yesterday so that we could make it through a day filled with the hardest emotions we have ever had to go through." Sheriff Nielsen says, "We ask that you do the same today, as there will be even harder emotions to overcome and conquer." As the procession arrives here at the church, there will be a ceremonial removal of Deputy Pickett's casket from the hearse into the church by the honor guard. Deputy Pickett's K9 brick will also have a very special role we are expecting to learn more about during the service here this morning. After the funeral, there will be a procession from Connection Point Christian Church in Brownsburg. The procession will leave the area on State Road 267, eventually making it to Lebanon. From there, hundreds of law enforcement members will continue escorting Deputy Pickett through Whitestown and Zionsville, eventually arriving in Indianapolis. The procession for Deputy Pickett will arrive at Crown Hill Cemetery. That's where our Aaron Lish is now standing by live this morning, continuing our team coverage. Aaron, good morning.
Good morning. As the sun comes up, we're seeing more law enforcement officers arriving here at Crown Hill Funeral Homes, where they will be escorting Deputy Pickett's body to Brownsburg. Now, we're seeing people not only from the state here in Indiana, but law enforcement, they're coming from NYPD, Chicago PD, Dallas. I mean, they are all over the country coming here to support Deputy Pickett and his family. Now, last night, they did have a visitation here for anybody who want to say their final goodbyes to Deputy Pickett. And it was kind of incredible. There's so many homes that have those blue lights illuminated on their front porches on the way here in Indianapolis. I saw those all along the way, just showing their support. Now, again, that funeral will be at 11 this morning in Brownsburg. That procession, that massive procession, will end up here at the cemetery, and he'll end up joining many of the state's fallen heroes. Now, when it comes to these honors of ceremonies, there will be things like the rifle salute. They'll also be giving a flag to his family, as well as that final call to Deputy Pickett. For now, I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Nicole, Aaron, thank you very much.
And of course, we'll have much more from our live crews just ahead here at 6:30. But first, we do want to take a minute and show you the touching response from the community who loved Jacob and his family.
You can see it here, the signs of support for his wife, Jennifer, during the hardest time of her life. You can see it at White Lake Elementary School, where she's a teacher, to the thin blue line flags lining the streets placed out by Whitestown municipal employees, and the thousands of luminaries that lined Heritage Trail Park in Zionsville to show just how much he lit up our community.
And Deputy Pickett spent his life in law enforcement, serving his community any way he could. And the Boone County Sheriff says that he was the right man for the job since day one.
I immediately saw the passion and the drive and the fire in Jake.
And here's a look back at his career. He worked for the Marion County Sheriff's Office starting in 2010. He was awarded the Sheriff's Jail Deputy of the Year in 2013. He then moved to be a deputy at Tipton County Sheriff's Department. Deputy Pickett then joined the Boone County Sheriff's Department.
He left an impact on people all across central Indiana, but mostly his family, including the few people who know the pain Deputy Pickett's wife is feeling right now, spouses of fallen officers.
I was telling her that in a year, the news will be gone, everyone will be gone, besides us. I couldn't express enough that we aren't leaving her.
That was the wife of fallen Howard County Deputy Carl Kuntz. Deputy Pickett leaves behind his wife Jennifer and two young sons, his parents, his sister, and his niece, who you see here in these pictures as well. And you can help Deputy Pickett's family by donating in his name. If you want to make a direct contribution to the Pickett family, send it to the Deputy Jake Pickett Memorial Fund. You can drop off those donations at the Boone County Sheriff's Office or at any key bank. A local group is also giving 100% of the proceeds to his wife from the sales of these memorial buttons.
You can also make donations online. To find this link, just head to our website, theindychannel.com. It's under the Hot button. There you can also find more stories of remembrance on the RTV6 app.
Throughout the day, we will be on air and streaming his funeral online as we remember fallen Deputy Jacob Pickett. That all begins at 10:30 this morning.
And Meredith, time now is 6:38. We are following some breaking news just into our newsroom. Homicide detectives have been called here to this scene of an assault on the northeast side. This one happened here on North Shadeland Avenue just about a half hour ago. Police telling us that the victim was assaulted and taken to the hospital where that person has died. It's fairly early in this investigation, so we're still working to get more details about what happened, including a possible suspect in this case. There is hope, but also some apprehension about a just-announced meeting between President Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. President Trump says that he wants the meeting to happen by the end of May, and he says he'll keep up the maximum pressure approach until the North gives up its nuclear program. Also, right now, IMPD officers are looking for this elderly man who says that he suffers from Alzheimer's and dementia. Kenneth Howard was last seen walking along Kenwood Avenue near Crown Hill on the north side. He was last seen wearing a black IU skull cap, green jacket, and blue jeans. If you have any information about where this man is, call police. Now to the latest on all of those crashes we brought you as breaking news yesterday. That included this 14-car pileup here along Interstate 70. INDOT tells us that more than 50 crashes were not due to a lack of salt trucks. Instead, they say the challenge they faced was the salt not activating in time. Because it was a kind of dry period beforehand, they say there wasn't a lot of moisture on the roads to make it work more quickly. We want to check in with our forecast, though, this morning on this Friday. Let's toss things over to Todd Clausen.
Yeah, it's a lot different here this morning. We don't have the snow showers out there. That is the good news. Our issue this morning is the temperature. Look at this as the kids head up to the bus stop here. Your 7 o'clock temperature will be right around 22 degrees, but it's clear out there. And as the kids come home from school, we're looking at a temperature right around 43 with partly cloudy skies. So there's one band of cloud cover that's trying to sneak in here right now. This will bring us the partly cloudy skies here throughout the course of the afternoon hours, but nothing major. And a quick reminder, Saturday night, turn the clocks ahead 1 hour. And also a good opportunity to check those batteries and replace them in your smoke detectors. We'll talk more about the weekend forecast for you coming up here in just a few minutes.
All right, we'll see you then, Todd. Coming up, it's our favorite time of the week, Good News Friday, how a couple penguins learned to take better and cuter selfies than us. That's next.